Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English Daily Book Summary YouTube channel. In order to not stop learning, listen to an English book summary every day for free.
Rosamund Dean, Mindful Drinking: How Cutting Down Can Change Your Life. If you've ever taken part in Dry January, then there's a good chance that, at least somewhere in the back of your mind, you know that your normal drinking patterns aren't very healthy. If you've ever had this creeping feeling, it's time to do something about it before it gets any worse. This blink isn't about quitting, but rather about finding a healthy, happy lifestyle where you know how to respond to anxiety and social obligations without always relying on alcohol. Mindful drinking is a way to gain awareness of your triggers and know how to cut yourself off before you're stuck with a miserable hangover. It's an approach that can not only improve your relationship to alcohol, but also improve your quality of life overall. So let's get started. Recognizing the need for change. Many of us have been there, waking up with a pit of anxiety after a night of overindulgence. What happened exactly? What did I say? Or maybe you feel like you have to drink to fit in at social events. Maybe it's not unusual to come home from work and tell yourself you'll just have one glass of wine with dinner, only to empty the entire bottle. If any of this sounds familiar, it's likely you've thought about cutting back on alcohol but felt unsure where to start, or even if you truly want to. Alcohol is everywhere, woven into the fabric of our social lives. It's a go-to for celebrations, a way to unwind after tough days, and a way to boost confidence during good ones. From family dinners to bonding with colleagues or new friends, drinking often feels expected. But while it's promoted as fun and glamorous, the reality of alcohol's impact tells a different story. Beyond the well-known risks like liver damage, it's linked to dozens of medical conditions, including depression and even cancer. And yet, unlike smoking, drinking isn't just acceptable, it's practically mandatory in many circles. You don't necessarily need to quit alcohol completely, but to find a balance that works for you. So this isn't for people who are addicted to alcohol. It's for those who've fallen into patterns where drinking has become a habit, something we do without much thought. Changing that requires mindfulness, being present and intentional about your choices. The idea is to create a healthier relationship with drinking. Mindful drinking can be a game changer. You need to learn to understand why you reach for that extra glass and learn to pause, reflect, and make a choice that aligns with your goals. Along the way, you'll likely slip up, and that's okay. The key is to approach those moments with kindness, not judgment. Eventually, you can become a person who enjoys a glass of wine without needing 3, who attends a party without a hangover the next day, and who enjoys alcohol-free days without feeling like you're missing out. We'll get into all of these details more in the sections ahead. You'll see that you're not only striving to be someone who drinks less, but also lives more. It's a process that'll sharpen your focus, strengthen your self-control, and uncover the real reasons behind your habits. You'll learn to identify triggers, build strategies, and incorporate mindfulness into your everyday life. Recognizing the reasons. Understanding why we drink too much is the first step in breaking free from the cycle. Our relationship with alcohol isn't just a habit. It's deeply rooted in a lifetime of cultural, societal, and emotional conditioning. From celebratory toasts to winding down after a tough day, drinking is something many of us were practically programmed to see as essential. And here's the truth. While these neural pathways feel entrenched, they can be rewritten with intention and effort. Changing these patterns starts with awareness. Ask yourself, why do I drink? For many, it's more than enjoyment. Anxiety, stress, and social expectations often play significant roles. Alcohol provides a quick fix for nervous energy or emotional discomfort, but it can create a vicious, counterproductive cycle. It can lower serotonin levels, which in turn heightens anxiety and makes you more reliant on that next glass. Recognizing the role of hangxiety in your life can be an empowering wake-up call. Women in particular face unique challenges with drinking. whether it's keeping up in male-dominated careers or coping with the multifaceted pressures of parenthood. Social media amplifies these feelings with darkly humorous posts that normalize day drinking and excessive drinking as part of modern womanhood. So it's important to remember that your relationship to alcohol isn't entirely your fault. It's a reflection of a culture that's constantly intertwining alcohol with identity. Speaking of identity, changing how you drink might mean evolving your own self-perception. Maybe you've always been the life of the party, the person who never says no to another round. Shifting that perception can feel daunting, but it's also liberating. Think of it as a reinvention, a chance to step into a version of yourself that's healthier and more balanced. It's also helpful to explore the emotional triggers behind your drinking. Some people are perfectionists, struggling with an all-or-nothing mindset. Some people are people pleasers, drinking to make others comfortable. And then there are those with the inner child personality type, who resists boundaries and overindulge without considering consequences. While you may not fit perfectly into one category, understanding your tendencies can help you anticipate and manage moments of weakness. Learning to sit with discomfort is a cornerstone. Whether it's resisting the urge to pour a glass after a rough day or managing social anxiety without liquid courage, the key is to recognize that cravings and discomfort are temporary. With practice, you'll build the resilience to face these moments head on, without relying on alcohol to smooth the edges. Moderation isn't as straightforward as abstinence, which provides clear boundaries. It requires constant decision-making and self-awareness, but it's absolutely achievable. By identifying your triggers, accepting anxiety as a natural part of life, and reframing your drinking as a positive evolution rather than a loss, you'll take meaningful steps toward a healthier, more mindful relationship with alcohol. Why being mindful works. Boiled down to its essence, mindful drinking is about creating a deeper, more intentional relationship with alcohol, one that aligns with your values and goals. The first step in this process is to get clear on the incentives. Cutting back on alcohol comes with a host of incredible health benefits that can serve as a powerful motivator for mindful drinking. Think of clearer, glowing skin, more energy, and sharper concentration as just the beginning. By moderating your intake, you'll also experience fewer regrets, improved memory, and even better sex. Your anxiety will lessen, your moods will stabilize, and you'll finally enjoy deeper, more restorative sleep. Beyond the immediate effects, reducing alcohol can also lead to weight loss, better digestion, a stronger immune system, and a lower risk of developing cancer. To keep these benefits top of mind, consider writing them down and placing the list somewhere handy. You might be surprised by how these small reminders can guide your choices. Of course, it's not just about your physical health. You'll also notice improvements in other areas of your life. Imagine having more authentic relationships, extra disposable income, and more energy at work. Each mindful decision to say no to an extra drink moves you closer to living a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life. Now let's talk mindfulness. These days, mindfulness and meditation are often used in seemingly interchangeable ways. So let's make some clear distinctions. While meditation involves concentration and quiet, contemplative stillness, mindfulness is ultimately a flexible tool that you can weave into any moment of your day. In its simplest terms, mindfulness is about being present and aware of your surroundings, your thoughts, and your emotions without judgment. When applied to drinking, it helps you pause and reflect. Do I truly want this drink, or am I reaching for it out of habit? More than that, mindfulness rewires your brain. It strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for making decisions, which alcohol tends to weaken. By training this part of your brain, you're not just saying no to a drink, you're saying yes to your long-term well-being. If meditation feels daunting, don't worry. Mindfulness doesn't require a silent retreat. Apps like Buddhify or Headspace make mindfulness accessible even during busy days. You can practice while walking, waiting in line, cooking dinner, doing the dishes, or taking a break. Some of the simplest mindfulness exercises that you can do wherever or whenever you want to calm your mind involve counting your breaths or counting your steps. Remember, it's about being present and aware. If your mind starts to wander off, gently bring it back. That's mindfulness in action. This practice can also help in anchoring yourself to your goals. With mindfulness, you're not suppressing cravings, you're understanding them. And from understanding comes control. Mindfulness won't erase challenges, but it equips you to face them with strength and clarity. Taking 28 days off and making a plan. So, now that you've got a better understanding of what mindful drinking is all about, it's time to start making plans. What you're going to do, when the time is right, is go cold turkey for 4 weeks. Then, when those 28 days are over, you can move forward in a more mindful way. Before this starts, it's good to take an honest look at your current drinking habits. Track everything you drink over the course of a week. Yes, everything. Whether it's a glass of wine with dinner or a night out with friends, writing it all down gives you a clear picture. Chances are, it's different from what you think. For many people, just keeping track in this way will naturally encourage you to cut back. If apps are your thing, tools like DrinkAware can help you monitor your progress and set goals, but a simple notebook works just as well. Using pen and paper has the added bonus of letting you also jot down how you feel before and after each drink. These reflections can reveal patterns, like turning to alcohol when stressed, and help you compare imagined relief to regretful reality. Now you might be wondering, why 28 days? Well, it's something of a sweet spot. It's long enough to challenge old habits, but manageable enough to not feel overwhelming. You can also think of these 4 weeks as a decluttering project. You have to fully clear out your wardrobe and step away from the space before you can decide what should go back in. When you take these 4 weeks is up to you, so choose wisely. Quiet months like January or October are ideal. Festive months like December or summer holidays are less so. During these weeks, you'll likely already begin to experience benefits like clearer skin, sharper focus, and extra pocket money. But it can also come with stressful scenarios as you try to go about your social life without the crutch of alcohol. Now's a good time to explore the growing world of alcohol-free drinks. From craft sodas to zero-proof spirits, there are plenty of options that feel adult and celebratory. Socializing sober might feel odd at first, but focus on others, try new activities, and surround yourself with people who genuinely uplift you. And if you slip up, don't sweat it. Celebrate the progress you've made and learn from what happened. It's also the time to think about moderation with a plan that works for you once the 28 days are up. Maybe it's the rule of 3, where you drink on 3 days a week with no consecutive days, and no more than 3 drinks on any day. But it can also be a custom plan tailored to your triggers and goals. Whatever it is, share your plan with someone for accountability. And remember, you're not trying to deprive yourself. Instead, you're aiming for a healthier, more mindful relationship with alcohol. Evaluating and staying the course. Reducing your alcohol consumption is all about building habits that serve you and finding strategies to keep those habits alive. In the early days, it's important to keep checking in with yourself regularly to see if new approaches are needed. At the very least, do a full evaluation after 12 weeks. Set a reminder, and when the time comes, ask yourself, are my rules working? Am I sticking to them? You're not aiming for perfection, but rather awareness. If things are going well, celebrate your progress and set another reminder. If not, reset with kindness. Your journey is a process, not a test you need to ace right away. Mindfulness also plays a huge role in your transformation. Try to make it a part of your everyday life. When you take a walk in nature, be aware of the sounds and smells. When you eat a meal, be there in the moment and savor each bite. When you choose to have a drink, enjoy the taste, relish the moment, and be aware of when the fun stops, of when the enjoyable buzz tilts over into something that you'll regret. Mindfulness sharpens your ability to recognize when you've had enough and helps make moderation second nature. Building healthier habits is key to replacing old routines. Drinking often becomes a default, something we do to unwind or out of habit. Instead, try forming new rituals that excite or relax you, things you can turn to when you're feeling on edge or need to let off steam. You can make a new positive habit out of anything, from doing yoga, journaling, boxing, watching YouTube tutorials to learn a hobby you've always been interested in. Maybe create a playlist of songs that always succeed in cheering you up. Any of these activities can fill the space alcohol used to occupy. Remember, reframing is your secret weapon. Instead of seeing the process as deprivation, think of it as a gift to yourself. Every time you choose mindfulness over mindless drinking, you're reclaiming your time, energy, and happiness. Lastly, don't let relapses derail you. Relapses happen. It's a part of life, not a reason to give up. Don't think of slip-ups as failures. They're reminders. Use them as opportunities to learn, grow, and recommit. Progress isn't linear, but with self-compassion and determination, you're fully capable of finding freedom from alcohol. The main takeaway of this blink to Mindful Drinking by Rosamund Dean is that mindful drinking is a fresh, practical approach to rethinking your relationship with alcohol. It's not about quitting, but finding balance, empowering you to drink less while still enjoying life. The approach involves doing an honest accounting of your drinking patterns and understanding your motivations for turning to alcohol. In recognizing the incentives, it helps you to make intentional, thoughtful choices about every drink, guided by personal goals and values. With benefits like improved health, better relationships, deeper sleep, weight loss, and increased productivity, you can stay focused on what you're gaining, not on what you're giving up. By starting with a 28-day period of abstinence, followed by a strict plan, such as the Rule of 3, you'll be setting yourself up for a manageable lifestyle that comes with transformative changes. Okay, and that is it for this blink. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you can, please take the time to leave us a rating because we always appreciate your feedback. See you in the next blink. Bye.